Hey friends, regular secular mama here with my winter homeschool reflections. I almost forgot to mention this video is part of a collaboration on New Year plans and goals hosted by Alicia over at Sunny Mountain Homeschool, previously called Iron Horse Homeschool. You can find a link to this collaboration down in my description below. In case you missed it, here is my last video that I did on how important it is to do homeschool reflections regularly so that you can see the growth that you're making and make plans to improve in the future. Today I'm sharing with you my personal reflection for the winter break over the last 3-4 months of homeschool since we started in late August. Before we get into it, do you remember these little guys? These little magic mind shots? This is my last one. Okay, I'm kind of bummed. I have been really enjoying them. I don't think it's a lot of hype. I feel actually pretty productive and focused using these every day. At first I was a little bit skeptical. I really do feel like they work well, especially over time. So this is my last one that I just took this morning. It's number 15. You get boxes of 15 of them. I may go ahead and order some more. I really like them. If you also would like to order some little matcha shots like this, or you just want some more information, you can use the link down in my description below. You can also get 20% off using SecularMama20 as your code. This year was a little bit wonky for us. It's different than how we've done homeschool in the past. We normally start early July and then take a really long winter break from Thanksgiving all the way to New Year's. Is that backwards for you? Anyway, this year, since we got such a late start, we didn't start till late August. We just kind of took a couple week-long breaks here and there. We did take a week off for Thanksgiving, and then we're going to take 2 weeks off for winter. So it looks a little bit more similar to, say, like a public school schedule. Anyway, my aim this year was to do reflections about quarterly, so about every 3 months, I guess that would be. Just a quick reminder to hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget the bell for notifications. That way you don't miss out on these update videos as I put them out. So it's been 4 months since we started. I feel like that's a good amount of time to stop and look back on. So here are just some thoughts on some of the things that we've been using and how they've been going for us. First, I'll start with the things that have gone really well. Math is number one. We use Math UC, and we have since the very beginning of our homeschool all the way through, and it's perfect for them. It's a great fit for us. It's really easy for me to implement. They are used to it, and they understand the routine, and they can do it without a whole lot of guidance from me other than, teaching the lesson. Let's see, what else has gone really well? Our history has gone really well. Now, we've been going really, really slowly through American history. We started it, I believe, the beginning of last year. Or maybe it was partway through last year. We started using Build Your Libraries Level 5 and 6, after we're done with that one, as kind of our outline of what's going to be our history. So we're doing most of the readings and activities and maps and things that Emily Cook has put into level 5. And I've also pulled in and tied in some books and activities from Blossom and Root's River of Voices, levels 1, and I believe we're almost starting level 2. So Blossom and Root has broken down American history into 3 levels, where Build Your Library broke it down into 2. So my aim is to hopefully have covered American history in about 2 or 3 years. At the rate we're going, that might even be kind of tight for us, so we may skip a few things that the kids are not really interested in and just kind of skim over the high points. I don't know, we're still playing that by ear, I guess. But the things that we have used and we have read, they've really enjoyed and they've gotten a lot out of, so that has gone well. Let's see. I should probably talk about language arts a little bit because I feel like language arts is one of those hard things because there's so many pieces to language arts. You have spelling and vocabulary and grammar and composition and narration and all those things. So we started out more Charlotte Mason-y, which Build Your Library also ties in with that. They use a lot of Charlotte Mason principles like copywork, narration, dictation, and shorter lessons. Because of that, using Build Your Library's literature and readers tied in really well with how we already did things. Then we pulled in Michael Clay Thompson, which if you've been following my channel, you know that we use and love Michael Clay Thompson pieces, not all of it, but just some pieces. That has gone really well. Specifically, their grammar is top-notch, can't get a better grammar program. However, a few weeks ago, we kind of reached the point where Michael Clay Thompson no longer served us right now. Now, this is something that I want to go into in a lot more detail in another video, so definitely subscribe, turn on that bell for notifications so you don't miss out, because I do want to get into that really soon. I'm not going to get into it in too much detail in this video, but we love the grammar, we love some of the composition stuff, and we kind of like the vocabulary. That said, we have reached the point where we are saturated with grammar knowledge, and I don't think we need to study grammar anymore for another year or two, okay? Now that also, I think it's Charlotte Mason that says you don't need to do grammar every year. You can do grammar once or twice in like elementary school, another time in the middle years, and then another time in high school, and you're probably good. I am seeing that as well in our homeschool, where we really don't need to keep pounding those lessons in. They probably know way more grammar than I ever learned in my entire public K through 12 school years, okay? So I'm not worried about it at all. My daughter did excellent. She's done with Grammar Island and Grammar Town. She doesn't really need to go any further than that for right now. My son finished Grammar Island and did a great job. He's gotten partway through Grammar Town, and some of the new things he got like that, and some of the things kind of bogged him down a little bit, slowed him down, and I decided that it wasn't worth pressing really hard right now. He's gotten an introduction to those things. Specifically, they were new kinds of phrases, so verbal phrases, but anyway. So it was bogging him down. We decided to just set it aside for right now, and we're doing some other things for language arts, and then we'll pick it back up in a year or two. So as far as the other parts of language arts, we are still using readers and literature read-alouds from Build Your Library and maybe pulled in from some other sources. We are still doing narration style journal entries, I guess you could say, every day. We have kind of done away with copywork and dictation for a couple of reasons. One of those reasons is because we have started using Killgallon's work texts for both the kids. Killgallon is the one who produces, what's it called? Sentence composing for, there's an elementary school, middle school, and high school level of that work text. So my son, who's 9, is using the elementary school work text, and then my daughter is using sentence composing for middle school. Now, it is basically copywork, but beefed up a little bit and giving them some creative freedom over how to arrange the sentences that they're copying out. I didn't see the need to make them copy even more, so no more copywork and dictation from our read-alouds. That's now kind of tied into Killgallon's composition work. So Killgallon has been going on for about 3 weeks now, I want to say, and my 12-year-old is doing really well with it. She sometimes struggles with paying close attention to what exactly the directions are telling her to do, and will just kind of like do her own thing. So we're working on that, and my son has surprised me actually with how should I say it, how much volume of writing he's giving me. So he's the one who kind of balks at anything handwritten. So I'm slowly trying to get him comfortable with handwriting more at a time. Kitty, stop it. Sorry. Not that I want to prioritize quantity over quality, but I would like to help him get into more writing types, like writing stories and expository writing. He is the one who says that he wants to be an author when he's older, so it's kind of nice that I can say that and pull that in and say, well, yeah, that would be great. I think you would make an excellent author. You tell really great stories. these are ways that you can help improve your writing skill by doing this and this. So anyway, he has surprised me. He's done really well with Killgallon, and he hasn't bulked too much at the amount of writing that's involved. And if he gets too tired, we just kind of set it aside. I don't push him to complete an activity or complete a certain number of sentences in one sitting. So that helps a lot, that, you know, there's less pressure. And language arts, we're also doing spelling. My son is using All About Spelling. He's now in about a third of the way into level 2, and that's going really well. He really likes the format, and it's really easy for him. We have loved using the app, okay, on an iPad. If you have not tried it and you are irritated with the tiles, or you're in a really tiny space, just get the app. It's like $20, so I was like, but it is amazing. It's so easy. You just click on the lesson that you're in, and it puts all the little tile things that you need, and you don't have any extras, you know, distracting you. It's great, and he enjoys it. He likes, you know, moving the tiles around. And then my daughter is using 180 Days of Spelling and Vocabulary, I think is what it's called, the 180 Days books. It's simple. It doesn't require a lot of thought. It's like one grade down, I think, from where she's at, just because I didn't think we needed to like really study it. It's just for her to kind of practice and keep those spelling skills sharp. I think that's most of what we're using, besides little things here and there like logic puzzles and Duolingo and things like that. So the things that are not going well, I'm embarrassed to say that one of those major issues that we're having is completely my fault. It's on me. I have been really, really easily distracted lately, and I think a lot of that has to do with my channel. So it's not you guys, it's me, I promise. But I have been feeling really bad about how slowly I've been putting out videos. I know that we were moving, it's a small space, it's like I know that there are reasons for that are beyond my control, but I still feel kind of bad about it, and it's distracting me because I'm trying to figure out ways to make this work and to work it into my schedule and all these things. So that is really distracting for me. I have been distracted by it, and I think it affects our homeschool day, that part of our day. So I had to really sit and like reflect on, okay, why is this happening? What are some things, like I had to really dig deep to try to figure out how it was affecting our homeschool day. And I came to a couple conclusions. Number one, I'm not getting enough sleep at night because I'm staying up late messing with things. And number two, I'm distracted by Instagram. Surprise! And so I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do about that, but I'll get to that in a minute. So especially on those mornings where I didn't get enough sleep the night before, or I wake up and the first thing I'm doing is playing on my phone, okay? That results in a day that goes really slowly, where we're kind of bogged down. Maybe breakfast is something thrown together and it just doesn't go well. The day doesn't go well. So that is entirely on me. The other thing that has really not gone well, and I'm trying to decide if it is the curriculum or how we're using it or user error or what, but biology level 2 from Real Science Odyssey. Now, I love the science from Pandia Press, okay? We have done all the level 1 courses. We're in the middle of physics with my son, which he loves, by the way. That's going well. We've done all the level 1 courses, really enjoyed them. Lots of fun hands-on labs and activities, especially the edible ones, like with marshmallows. But biology level 2 has been a real struggle for my 12-year-old, for my daughter. And I'm not surprised that it's a struggle. It's a really challenging course. She would be in 6th grade, okay, if she was in public school, and she's just turned 12 years old, and she's pretty much on par as far as maturity and, you know, everything. So the material itself is pretty challenging, But I also think what's been really hard is her ability to follow these directions in the labs or for the research assignments or whatever without my guidance. Now, we did spend quite a number of weeks when we started doing assignments together and making sure she knew the processes in each different type of assignment, what I was expecting from her, you know, how to use the microscope and all these things. But she still kind of struggles with that a little bit. I think what I'm going to do about that part is I'm going to sit down and have a little chat with her, just one-on-one, and see, you know, she chose biology. That's what she wanted to study this year. And so I don't want to ditch it completely. I want to use the materials we have. And they're really quality, like high quality materials. This is good information, okay? And it's taught really well, I think. But maybe we can scale back the number of components we're using. Maybe we don't need to do the research assignment every week. Maybe we can skip some microscope labs and things like that, just to kind of lighten the load a little bit. I don't think it's the material that's the problem. I think it's we're trying to do all the things when we don't really need to. I also think I'm going to make sure she knows that she can use her notes and her textbook for the quizzes at the end of the week. I don't know if she got a mixed message somewhere along the way and thought that she couldn't use her materials. I fully intended to allow those to be open book. So maybe that will kind of like ease the burden a little bit if she can look back on her notes and things. One of the newer parts of my homeschool reflection template that I have set up for myself so I don't forget what I'm thinking about is how we're using our time, and are we using our time effectively, and are we happy with what we're spending our time on. So when I was sitting down to think about this, I think when we're actually doing our schoolwork and learning from our materials, we're enjoying it. You know, we're learning, we're growing. There's some really interesting things that we're studying, but we have a serious issue with time management. Now, I've already said that part of that is me and the things that I am working through on my own, but my kids need to work on their time management, okay? I'm just gonna say it. They do. And it's not just a problem for them or me, but my husband has expressed irritation because he comes home from work and sometimes they're still working on their schoolwork. They still have things that they haven't done because they've been goofing off or like playing or doing things that were not things they were meant to do, you know, that were part of their school day. And I am all for play-based learning. I am huge advocate of play-based learning. But I feel like as they get older, there are some things that maybe are harder that maybe they don't really get excited to do, like Killgallon's sentence composing. You know, it's not an exciting thing to do, but it does help build those skills toward, you know, something they want to do in the future, like write a book or whatever. But of course, at their age, it's hard to see that far in the future. It's hard to see how these activities and school assignments build the skills that they actually want for what they want to do. They just don't realize they want it. Is that making sense? I don't know. I feel like this is getting really chatty. Suffice it to say that they're struggling with time management. I am struggling with time management. So that's something we're going to be really working on, so that hopefully we can actually hang out when Daddy gets home and go play shuffleboard at the RV park or play a game together or play a video game or whatever. I also think that the kids would really, really appreciate if we spent more time on art and craft type activities. I love art. I took sculpture all 4 years of high school, got college credit for it, art history, college credit. Like, I love art. For some reason, I just have a hard time like working that into our day. So I don't know how we're going to work that into our schedule a little bit more. It seems to be very spontaneous right now, but I don't know. All right, and as far as what we are grateful for, number one, the kids and I are all grateful for not having as many cleaning chores to do. Living in our house in Texas, we had daily chores, you know, cleaning the bathrooms, mopping the floors, all that stuff. We had stuff we were supposed to do every single day. They had to do laundry every single day, or, everyone had their day to do laundry. Here, we have such a small space. It does get dirty very quickly, so we have to tidy up every day. We have to do the litter box every day because we have 4 cats. But we don't really clean, like, every day. We don't clean, like dusting, mopping, that kind of stuff. We just spend 1 day a week doing all of it in like 2 hours, and that's it. We are so grateful for that part of RV living. The second thing that we are super grateful for is an amazing library system. Okay, I think it's safe to say that I live in County in Florida, and they have an amazing library system. There are 8 or 9 maybe branches of the library, and they all share books. Some of you may be familiar with that type of system. We lived near San Antonio before, and they had a similar system, but it was really difficult for us to tap into it because we were in a different county. So I could use that system, but just a teeny little bit, and then otherwise I had 2 or 3 separate rural libraries that I went to, okay? It was a lot to keep track of, and some of the there weren't a lot of like programs and things. It just wasn't really an excellent library system, okay? It worked, but it wasn't excellent. Here, it is excellent, okay? I can get almost any book that I need. I just request it. It's at the library we usually go to, and I can go pick it up. I love that feature of these like shared library systems. And more recently, we have discovered that one of the branches, well, probably more of them, but another branch we don't usually go to has tons of children or like youth activities. So they do like Lego Club twice a month. They do Hour of Code. They had like winter celebration things going on. Of course, they have story time, although that's a little young for them now. But it's just been a really great branch to go to, and they can participate in those fun things that we don't really have here, like 3D printing and coding. Well, we can do coding, but anyway, it has just been so nice to find this branch of the library and the fun things that they do. We don't have Legos in the RV anymore. We all decided as a family that Legos were not going to happen. They're all in storage. So that's kind of sad. And of course we had to pack up our 3D printer, which was really sad. And so there are just some things we miss, and we're able to do that at this one branch that, has these programs. So that's kind of my reflection in a nutshell. Probably a very long, ranty, chatty nutshell. So if you're with me still, thank you for watching this far. The last part of my homeschool reflections that I've just started implementing this year is creating a list at the end of actionable items, so specific tasks that can be done and checked off, or a habit that can be checked off every day, that kind of a thing. It's nice to say that I want to spend less time on my phone in the morning, but it's a lot more productive, I guess, to say that I will not pick up my phone until 11 a.m. So something like that is something I can be very deliberate about and specifically focus on that thing happening, if that makes sense. So forgive me for looking at my screen, but here are the actual action items that I came up with after doing this reflection. I am going to create a best day schedule, so what a typical best day would look like in our homeschool. I don't normally schedule out our days as far as like times to do things. We have more of a workflow to our day, but I think it would be helpful to see time blocked like a best scenario and what that day would look like. And that sort of best schedule is definitely going to include a certain block of time that is just dedicated to work on my channel or socials or whatever it is I'm doing for this part of it. I think having that sort of task time blocked off for me will help prevent me from wanting to check in on things, from looking at Instagram or looking at videos I'm working on during the day when we really should be focusing on other things. And I have a box in here specifically saying that my phone will be put away on the basket or wherever I keep it at night when I sleep. It's just going to stay there during school hours. For biology, for my daughter, I said I was going to sit down with her and have a little chat about how it's going and what she's enjoying and what she thinks we can do, to make it a lighter load after the winter break. The second part of that is I'm going to sit down and preview the next 3 weeks of biology lessons and take out things that we don't really need to do or choose some things that will be optional for her. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention that we will be trying writing with skill for my daughter. So right now her only composition work is Killgallon sentence composing, and it's just sentences. She's had maybe one activity that included writing an original paragraph. She also journals or narrates loosely in her notebook about what she's reading every day, and that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot of writing going on, and I think at her age we need to work on writing and different structures for getting her thoughts on paper. Okay, so I was thinking about different options. We've done IEW in the past, and I didn't really want to go that route again. I had purchased Writing with Skill last year, but I decided that it was a little too heavy and just a little bit too much work for her at 10, 11 years old. So we're going to try it this year. I wanted to wait a little bit. I wanted to wrap up some things that we were working on with Michael Clay Thompson. I wanted to get started on Killgallon. Now we're going to go ahead and work in Writing with Skill. Now, with biology being such a heavy load already, I don't want to overload her, so we're just going to do it at maybe half speed. That's the plan anyway. We're going to go a little bit slower. We're not going to stress about it. We're just going to use Writing with Skill as a tool to help us improve her writing and composition structure. Okay, that is on my task list as well, my action items list. I'm going to go over the first 3 weeks of Writing with Skill, or the first 3 lessons, and kind of break down how I think that should look for the first few weeks. Whew. If you made it this far, thank you. You're awesome. I'm sure this is a long and kind of chatty video, but sometimes it's nice just to get it all out there, and I like watching them too. I like watching chatty long update videos. So if you made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you so much. I'll probably be back with another update here in a couple of months. I'm thinking maybe every 2 months or so, I'll sit down and do a reflection like this and update you guys on how things are going. Please don't forget to go down and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the bell for notifications. I'd love to hear in the comments down below how your homeschool is going. How is your winter break going so far? Is there anything that you are struggling with or need help on or are working on? Let me know. Maybe I can work some of those ideas into a future video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I will see you next time. Bye!